afternoon when Andy was telling me about the Red Sea. What did they do? They came to the Red Sea, and what happened? How did the waters part? God did it, but how did it happen? He raised his hands, didn't he? After they'd seen all of these miracles, amazing thing after amazing thing, Moses came and he raised his hands. And the waters parted. And miracles again. God does it again. They walk through on dry land. I want you to take note of the things that he mentioned to them here. And I want you to think about this. Not always. I don't always want to put God in a box. But when we start living for God and we start taking him for his word, a lot of times miraculous things will happen in our life. I've seen it over and over again. And it kind of gives us, it grows our faith, encourages us. The trouble is, we've been in faith for a while, and we've kind of been around the ropes, and we've done some things, and those miraculous things don't happen as much. Seemingly the same incident, isn't it? Where they were at before. Now, they didn't have an army chasing down. But what are they going to do? They're supposed to get over here. And an interesting fact about the Jordan River at this time, when it was the regular season, they could essentially wade through it. But this was the rainy season. And so it was swollen over, and you couldn't even have got over with a bridge. You couldn't have got over with a boat. It would have been so rough. They knew there was no way that they could do it. There was no way that God was going to, unless he intervened to get them across. Isn't this interesting, the things that he told them to do? Makes me wonder, makes me ponder the thought, the more we go with God, maybe the more he's expecting us to grow. Maybe the more he's expecting us to move, right? I don't know, just a thought. All right, let's turn to Joshua 3, because they're about to move, and they're about to go across the Jordan. 3 verse 1. Early in the morning, Joshua and all the Israelites set out from Shittim, and they went to the Jordan, where they camped before crossing over. After 3 days, the officers went throughout the camp, giving orders to the people. When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God and the priests, who are Levites, carrying it, you are to move out from your positions and follow it. So what's happening? Is Joshua going and raising his hands and the waters are parting? No. They're asking the Ark of the Covenant, which holds what? Yes, but what does it represent? What does the Ark of the Covenant represent? The presence of God. This was not something to mock. You know, Moses here, a couple chapters earlier in the other book, decided he'd strike a rock with his staff and not speak to the rock, and he's never going to make the promised land. The presence of God and the Ark of the Covenant was the holiest of holies. It went before them. It was to go before them. What's going to happen here? And then Joshua told the people, consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you. He said to the priests, take up the Ark of the Covenant and cross over ahead of the people. So they took it up and they went ahead of him. And the Lord said to Joshua, today I will begin to exalt you in the eyes of all Israel. Let me stop there for a minute. Joshua knew God was with him, but he really wasn't in Moses' position yet. He wasn't sure of himself. He might have had that title, but he really wasn't there yet. What amazing thing had God done through him at this point? This, I want to venture to say, was a turning point in Joshua's life. Verse 8. Tell the priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant, when you reach the edge of the Jordan's waters, go and stand in the river. Did he say go and throw your arms up and let the water part? No. He said go and stand in the water, in the river. Joshua said to the Israelites, come here and listen to the words of the Lord, your God. This is how you will know that the living God is among you, and that he will certainly drive out all those people before you. Let's go down to verse 12. Now then, choose 12 men from the tribes of Israel, one from each tribe. And as soon as the priests who carry the ark of the Lord of all the earth, set foot in the Jordan, the water flowing downstream will be cut off and stand in a heap. And so when the people broke camp to cross the Jordan, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. And Jordan at its flood stage, all during harvest. Yet as soon as the who carried the ark reached the Jordan, and their feet touched the what? The water's edge, it stopped flowing. Now here's what I want you to think about, that I'm thinking about. Don't get used to what God did, because He's calling you to move, and He's always not the same way. And He's calling you to a little more. They actually had to get in and get wet. Let me ask you something. What is your Jordan? What is your river? What is your thing that is in your life that only you might know that is preventing you of getting to your promised land? I want you to think about that a little bit. And if you've gone with God a little bit, I think you can relate. Because you know what? Whether you experienced it or not, there's going to come a time in your life where you're going to say, God didn't come through. He disappointed me. Whether it was my undoing or somebody else's undoing for me, this is not what I thought was going to happen. This was not my expectation. My plan A did not happen. They did not figure, after they parted the Red Sea and walked through, that they were going to be wandering for 40 years. I'm asking you, what is your Jordan? What is the thing that God is calling you to get beyond, to step out in faith, and allow Him to work? I call this Plan B. We didn't really sign up for that, did we? Let me throw some out there. Because sooner or later, I don't want you to feel this hurt, but you'll experience it. Plans fizzle. Expectations come to nothing. Trusted people will let you down, or we let ourselves down. Dreams shatter. They even slip away. Is it because of an illness? A death? Somebody go to jail? Did your friend move away? Did your friend marry another person? Maybe your church is disillusioning you. Maybe you've had a financial reversal. Maybe your mom and dad got a divorce. Maybe you're going through a divorce. And I don't say this like, maybe you didn't make the varsity team. I know that seems kind of trivial in the midst of some of these other things that I was talking about. But to somebody that has tried to do their thing and worked hard and can't quite get into that starting position, that can be devastating. And I'm not here to make light of that. Maybe you're moving. Maybe your best friend is moving. Maybe you are so stinking lonely that you're tired of just even opening up to anybody else. Maybe you can't have a child. Maybe you can't find a mate. There will come a time in your life where you'll reach the Jordan. And He'll ask you, what are you made of? Are you going to trust me? Are you going to quit whining? Are you going to get up? And are you going to move? Joshua had a pointed decision that he had to make in his life. And we won't turn there, but in Exodus 33, it talks about the secret to Joshua's life. And you know what? Here's another thing. Joshua didn't just get there. His grandparents were the ones, his parents were the ones that came out of Egypt. He wasn't appointed. How long did it take Jesus to actually get into a position where He could do ministry?